Larry Chandonnet, president of CIDAN Machinery, and here we're going to talk about the Thalmann TZ series Longfolder. The TZ series came from a combination of the TH, which is their heavier machine, and the ZR series, which was their lighter gauge machine. They incorporated the benefits of both machines into one now called the TZ. Just like back in 1960 when Thalmann came out with their first Longfolder, they've always had a torsion shaft on the clamping beam and also on the folding beam. We'll get into details on those in a few moments. We use on the TZ a vertical force clamping system, and instead of the torsion shaft being on the back side, it's on the top side, so even on an 18 gauge we're getting beautiful hems closed on 29 gauge grade 80 material, and we'll show you that later in the video. We're talking about the torsion shaft on the folding beam right now. You can see it right there, and the linkage is connected to the torsion shaft. So even if this cylinder is working different from the one on the other side or right or left side, it doesn't matter, because it's going to transmit the force evenly across the torsion shaft. This is just like on a flap on a wing on an airplane where they have the flap come up perfectly. They have to do that, and they use a torsion shaft technology. Same here. We don't have to care about if this cylinder is pushing harder, because it's evenly going to distribute across the torsion shaft. Also, while we have the folding beam up, our linkage is unique. When we're forming, we're doing a cylindrical circle with this linkage. We're not just coming up, we're actually sweeping around. And if you look at our radius, it's a true radius when we're forming, and that comes in handy when you're doing harder material like grade 80 material. When you overbend it, we're not getting a collapse on the radius. That way we get a great hem, which we'll show later in the video. Stop. As you can see, the radius looks great, the hem looks perfect, it's flat all the way down the part, and you can see we got a 1.4 inch return with a 1 inch eye flange for a J channel. You can actually get this machined out more, so we could do a 1 inch by 2 inch return flange. That's an option we have. But on our standard folder, the upper beam is at a 35 degrees, so it gives you more return capabilities. Okay, as you can see, we can do a 612, which is 55 degrees here with grade 80. If we had mild steel, we can do a 12-12 pitch on the material. The spring back is what doesn't allow us to do a higher than 612. But on grade mild steel, we can definitely do a 12-12. And the reason why is this folding beam is kicked back 14 degrees. So when you see me push in to close that hem, that's the reason why. show you here is, see how our hems are uniformly all the way down open? On a valley, a lot of people want open hems. And this is a true testimony to the torsion shaft technology, where we can control and do an open hem. It's just not going to come down and sometimes get open, sometimes not. It's always going to be open when you desire an open hem, even on grade 80 material. Now we're talking about the upper beam on the back side. And if you can see the torsion shaft going across, you can see it right on here, and then the hydraulic cylinder. Think of it like your elbow. We'll never overextend past this. That's what locks your elbow. Same thing with a Thalmann. We never overextend our hydraulics. They come to a mechanical stop and it won't go any further. So you'll never damage your C-frames ever on a Thalmann. And you can also control the upper beam as far as the dimension. And we'll get into that next. But let's cycle it to show you what I mean. So that's up. Now we come down. That's the safety stop. And then we get full power and it's kinetically stopped right there. On a measuring of the upper beam and the folding beam, we use a rotary encoder. It's 5,000 increments, very, very accurate. So that's why we can hem to a dimension, and we can also get very high accuracy on our folding beam. We have an encoder on the upper beam, and we have an encoder on our folding beam. That's right on the shaft, both on the upper beam and the folding beam. What's nice on a Thalmann is you can always adjust for crowning standard on any machine that we have. You can do it CNC controlled or manual. This machine has manual, so you can adjust the upper jaw individually front to back. By doing it individually, you eliminate the need for using tape or shims to get a radius part, as you see in this part right here. That is a K-style gutter with a radius custom made, done on a Thalmann. The back gauge has a 48-inch travel, and it's driven on THK linear ways. We also cover our linear ways so that there's no dirt, dust, grime. This isn't a belt, this is just a cover. It's actually a cover that rotates over, so your linear way is always encapsulated into the this covering. Get a optional small parts back gauge, so if you're doing clips, you can move this in any position, so you can do small parts. The fingers actually have micrometer adjustment. So in case your operator bends the actual finger, this is spring steel, tension spring steel, and you can adjust this out, in and out, to adjust your fingers perfectly. The fingers can come in as close as you want them. They actually have a cam here that rotates it. As it comes up and hits this bar, it'll turn it. That way you don't have to worry about it smashing into the lower beam. As you can see, that was the folding beam coming up, and this is with the hydraulics on. We make our hydraulics in a clean room environment. That enables us to have a recommendation of every 15 years to change oil. Very quiet, very efficient, and a lot less moving parts with this. Right here you see the machined area, and that is for, and it's already tapped, if you ever want to add a slitter. We mount our slitter onto the base of the machine, so there's no free space taken away from your folding beam. The same covers that are on these on our back gauges will also be covers on our slitter, so no dust gets into the actual cable. Makes it last a lot longer for us. And you can add this slitter at any time. People are doing onesie twosies or taper cutting. A slitter is nice, but for production we always recommend a slit to width cut to length line. What's always been unique on a Thalmann is how they integrate the leveling legs into the machine. They're actually attached to the machine. We don't recommend bolting them anymore because of we went to a tubular design, which we've used on our TH series, and that gives it a very robust, maintenance-free frame. And from that, all we're doing is a push-pull with this to level it. Bolting is still not attached to this, so there's no need to bolt it down. Just level it off the leveling plates. Let's talk about safety features. You always have emergency stop right by your control. Standard on all Thalmann machines is a laser light that goes across. We also have a stop that is activated by a kick bar. Other safety features is we have a cover on our upper torsion shaft. We also cover our folding beam linkages right here. As far as the foot pedal, if I step on it, it goes to an inch OSHA pinch rule. Clamp it again, it clamps. Same foot, I use the bend. Anytime I can use the right side, I have to come up. Also, if I step through, the upper beam will automatically come up. So even if I'm here, decide I want to go up, it'll automatically come up to safety, all the maximum height. Now you can use the CAM portion of Thalmann as standard. You can do DXF files, you can auto program, you can use your finger to program it, and I'll just demonstrate here. And I'll put a hem on this and we'll make that face 0.5. We'll make this 90, and we'll make this one 90. And I'll say that's what we want. And we say go, it'll give you a sequence. There it is. And then ready, go. And then you can go to each bend and check it out.